Hello and happy holidays from us here at Dillos. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank. And this evening, for the 12th day of our very merry Vlogmas, we're going to sit right back and set up on our own individual streaming services Mickey's Christmas Carol. And we're going to talk through the entire program.
The entire
basically.
movie. Yes.
That's the plan. So we'll give everyone a little bit of time here to settle in, get the popcorn, get your favorite beverage, and pop in and settle in. I mean, if you're not watching it right now on live as it's happening, that's okay too.
Right.
We're going to say like ready, set, play, and then we're going to play it. So you could do this at any time. You can do this in the comfort of your own viewing pleasure. I don't know what I'm saying. What am I saying?
I don't know what you're saying either. Yeah, I mean, I had done something similar where we just put up a picture. We basically just put up a picture and then we just all chatted along to the movie Noel. Mm-hmm. So this time we're just kind of going to watch and chat at the same time. But yeah, we're going to wait for some people to join us, say hey. Say hey if you're here.
Say hey if you're here. If you're out there. How about Home Sweet Home Alone instead? How about
No, we're not going to be doing that.
No. So, and I'm going to because I don't have mine set up at all, I'm just going to say Mickey's Christmas Carol right into my thing just so I can pull it up with low volume. And
yeah, I have an iPad set up next to me for mine. Maybe we should put a TV in this room. That would be helpful.
I like at the start of here. Don't do it yet. Don't pull it up yet. Don't start it. We're not starting.
Well, I'm not
yet,
starting
everybody.
it. I'm just pulling it up.
Don't start it. Oh, I can put on the closed captioning. That helps also. Then I don't have to listen to it. But it says it has a little disclaimer of depicts tobacco usage or whatever it said. I don't remember what it said at this point. And I'm not gonna about all the disclaimers that are out there right now. Obviously, we gotta let know people about things. I think in February we talked about the Muppet Show having disclaimers before a lot of their episodes. Yes. And there was just something I was watching recently that I was like, wow, this has a disclaimer too. I was surprised by it. But
indeed. Hello, Lewis and Val. Welcome.
So here's the thing: we'll give it another 2 minutes or so. Maybe Sunday dinner is happening. Maybe whatever it could be. I mean, we didn't give anyone real warning about this.
Why would we? Why? That would be crazy.
And just to say, it is the 12th day of Vlogmas, so we're halfway through Vlogmas officially today.
That's crazy.
We've only screwed up Vlogmas once so far, where Jen and I did not communicate last night. I knew where she was when she posted the Mama and Papa Dillo decor at our parents' home. Yes. But I know that while I was running around last night at work at around 8:55, I was like, oh, I didn't post my vlog that I have ready to go. And then I posted it while I was still running around the building. And lo and behold, Jen had posted hers 8 minutes earlier. So I had to quickly delete.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah. I think I had said earlier in the day, I think I'm going there today. I'll do that for one. And then I have my Secret Santa unboxing to do as well. And I don't know who my Secret Santa is. I have not figured that out. There was no name. There was nothing. So I also need to figure that out. But I have that as well. But I don't think I ever officially said, hey, I'm going to post one of those today for sure. So yeah, that was pretty funny.
I feel like I can't say anything about my secret. People know from my unboxing that I have received mine, but I cannot say anything about mine.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many people are in this pool, and I don't know about how many people have received their gifts and have not received their gifts. So I don't want to.
You announced who it was on the live the other day. No,
who mine was. Yeah. Who mine was.
But you're not going to say who you. Yeah,
I'm the Secret Santa for.
I see. Yes.
Because maybe I'm a little behind schedule.
I know.
So we'll give it another minute and then we'll get it started. It's about 26 minutes in total. And we'll come right out of the gate talking about the classic opening song here, and we'll jump into it. So if your streaming service is up and ready, do so at this time.
Yes.
Get it ready. Bring up the screen. Like quickly hit pause so it's like right there when we're all going at the same time.
Yeah. What? I mean, are we all hitting play at the same time? Do you want to hit play now and pause? What do you want to do?
No, I'm not gonna pause. I'm just going straight through.
Just straight in. Okay, we could do that.
I'm gonna do like a countdown. I'll do like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 situation, and then press play. I'll say 1 and then play. I won't say play on 1.
Yeah, I did it via the chat, knowing full well it's always a delay when I talk or chat, and I'm always like, start. Did everyone get that message? That's not me saying this now. That was the other day. So don't. Frank will say it. I will not. So yeah. We like to accommodate you, Lewis, early. So we like to anticipate the question you're going to ask and then answer right away.
Yeah. So then we'll try to jump in along the way. If you have questions, we'll pop them up on the screen while we're watching. We'll multitask through this whole thing.
Sure. Me and Frank almost matched our shirts tonight as well, which was fantastic. And then I went ahead and spilled food on mine. So shout out to Shannon. Shanny Pants.
Yeah, and no joke, Jen, I told you, and then we'll get started. 60 seconds until we start officially. Okay. Jen, I texted you that Mrs. Dillo raved about the Nikki DeLoach Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, 5 more minutes, which we had on DVR. Mm-hmm. Nikki DeLoach, of course, is a former All New Mickey Mouse Club member. Yes. So all in the family right there. Yes. And then, so I had a raging headache. No surprise when I came home last night from where I was posting vlogs when Jen had already been posting vlogs. But so I could not keep my eyes open from the headache. So I did not get to see the last hour. But Mrs. Dillo says it is her favorite of the season.
It's big. That's big. I have to put it on my list there. I feel like I'm behind on some. 5 more minutes?
And no, I said 5 more minutes is the name of the movie. So
there's no Christmas in the title. Why? Because it's on mysteries. So there's no Christmas.
I think so. You don't have to. That's not an obligation when you are on movies and mysteries. So long story short is you mentioned Shannon, and after I texted you that, I went over to our Instas, and Shannon had asked us in the DMs if we had seen 5 more minutes yet. I was like, whoa.
Oh, I missed that. That's so funny.
So. All right, everybody, here we go. We're going to count it down.
Jefferson Nate.
Now, we're about to get started. Jefferson Nate, what's up? We're about to count down here to get Mickey's Christmas Carol started. So it depends how quickly you can get onto your streaming service and join in the fun as we count down now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and play. Is it playing? Is it playing? Mine's playing. So here we go with the opening credits. Now, the classic, first of all, just the screen, as you can see in our background of Mickey in the Dickensian garb is like, that's all I need in life already. Mm-hmm. With the opening illustrations, but the song, Jen, like, let's rank it, right? So the opening song of like nostalgia Christmas specials, because to me,
this is number 1. I'm overwhelmed by what you're even going to say. Yes.
So you would build this above Christmas time is here.
Yes. For us, yes.
Yeah, above like to me, it was always a trilogy of Rudolph, Frosty, and Charlie Brown is like this trilogy of Christmas specials, and then Mickey's Christmas Carol was on the side, and the Grinch was kind of like around. Mm-hmm. But I think of the 2 holiday specials in the world at this point, still to this day, it is "Oh, What a Merry Christmas" and Charlie Brown, "Christmas Time is Here" as like the 2. You can't top those.
Yeah, no. And I feel like this was a staple. This was on every single year in our house. I feel like, I mean, Charlie Brown Christmas, yes, but this is what stands out more, probably because it was Disney related, and we ate up anything Disney related in our house growing up. And so I also feel like Mama Dillo would use this as a bargaining tool some years, do you want to watch this? Yeah. One of those. So yeah, this is huge. Also, I will say that it is always so funny. I mean, watching it as an adult, also seeing the timing on here of 26 minutes, we have to say living on Long Island, you go anywhere outside of 15-minute span, it feels like 10 hours wherever you're going. This movie how is it only 26 minutes? And that's probably through the credits. How is that possible? It seems so much longer in my memory than that.
Yeah, totally. So we're going into the opening scene here. Scrooge walking around snowy London. You know, obviously, this is pre-DuckTales. This is 1983. This is debuted, I think, prior to The Rescuers in theaters, something like that, before it started hitting NBC every year. But even just walking through the village, it is, you know, almost like a precursor to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where you're getting this collection of characters from everywhere in a single special movie, however you want to mention it, with now Mickey as Bob Cratchit right here.
Yes, for sure. And Lewis is saying lots of credits, and I think that's also funny. It's just, you know, any movies for such a long time, the length of the credits as a movie would start, where now it's like no one has time. Let's go. We just jump right in. We don't do the long credits in the beginning anymore.
Yeah, and Liz is also saying over Peanuts, like, what? I mean, I get it.
I know.
I get the classicness of the opening of Peanuts. Jen is adamant. I hear you.
I know. And I'm not saying that they weren't big or that we didn't watch that every year, because it did. And that is just as classic. We just watched it the other day. But I don't know. But there's something about this. This speaks to the nostalgia more, I think.
It speaks to the nostalgia more. And again, as I mentioned with like Who Framed Roger Rabbit and DuckTales, everything, like, I don't think... in some ways, I think because the 80s were such a struggle for Disney as a company, I don't think it's really realized how much, at least from like Disney fans like us, point of view, how much this seems to be like a launching pad, no pun intended with launchpad, for like, you know, keeping Disney in people's lives.
Yeah.
Because again, like, you hadn't seen a lot of these characters in a while in fresh new things, and you know, and I'll get to one particular character later where I feel like I don't know if this character is even around anymore without this special. But you know, I feel like Mickey's Christmas Carol in some ways held Disney together during this period of the 80s where the movies were struggling and the theme parks were, you know, Epcot had opened a year and a half before. Like, it wasn't like there wasn't much going on for Disney. They were worried about corporate raiders taking over their company, things like that.
And I think for us, anytime we had a tie to Disney, a tie to the parks, you know, the Christmas Day parade from Disney World, the Mickey Mouse Club filmed in Disney World, but any kind of Disney thing was huge for us. So and we are big on Christmas. So you tie these two together. I mean, this is everything in one package right here. I see that Dr. Val had a Scrooge comic book, which I don't think I even knew existed. I also want to page Nate on this one to see if he knew that exists. I'm sure he does. He probably has 5 copies, but that's really cool. Let's see, Scrooge cartoons, something like these comics saying could be said. Yeah.
Yeah, and so just to say, Scrooge has now kicked Donald as Cousin Fred out of the counting house here with Donald, you know, and also I think sometimes where, you know, again, was this the same year the Disney Channel started? So me wasn't exposed to a lot of Disney cartoons early on, which is why, when did you get, were you Disney kids since you were little? And it's like, no, Star Wars, superheroes, Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers. Disney was there, but not in this way. So this is almost my first impression of Donald Duck in cartoons.
Lewis, what are you saying really too? Can you elaborate? I'm not sure which thing we said that deserved that reaction.
Many opinions. As this being the glue through the 80s. I'll fight you on that. That's fine. So, you know, and I don't know how it was shown on different NBC channels early on in the mid 80s, you know, but we often had like 3 Disney cartoons in the first half hour before Mickey's Christmas Carol came on. And, you know, one of them was like Goofy skiing, you know, and going down the big hill there at the end.
Oh yeah.
You know, like that's a classic Goofy cartoon. And probably I would guess the Christmas tree with Pluto and the Chipmunks.
1,000%. That's why it's one of my favorite ornaments. I have the Chippendale ornament as they're in the tree with the candle and all that. So
yeah, not knowing about Scrooge comics.
I'm sorry.
Well, you know what's funny is I wasn't that much of a comic book kid either, as much as I like have all the Mego superhero dolls when I was a kid and things like that. I still have all the comic books I had.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that many because when they pop up in stores, I'm like, oh yeah, I have this comic. But when I went to a comic book store, it was usually coupled with a ball card shop. So that was usually the focus of.
Hard for your accent not to come out there, huh?
I know, baseball. It's like, oh, let me think about this. My childhood, baseball. So Mickey is now asking for his time here. He's taking Scrooge's laundry. What about Mickey in a secondary role here?
I know that's always interesting too, is that, usually anything Mickey's in, well, it's Mickey and all these other people are playing around him and he's kind of, but because Mickey exudes the goodness and the kindness and the magic of the world, and he's doing all these things because he's trying to support his family. He's trying to do some good regardless of how he's being treated. And he knows maybe deep down in Scrooge's old crackety heart, there's someone good in there. And he was just going to be patient enough to wait. I don't know. I'm rambling at this point. But
no, it's a fair point. Now you see Scrooge walk home, approaching the door knocker. And I agree. I think, I think in different times, maybe in times now where we see too many cooks in the kitchen, maybe like we got to tell the story from Mickey's point of view because we're all about Mickey.
Yeah.
So that is often the case here. And now you start to see Goofy as Marley through the door knocker and trying to haunt Scrooge. Yes. I love this for Goofy. And again, I think it was the combo of the skiing Goofy and his role here as Jacob Marley that really elevated Goofy in my eyes.
Yeah.
The versatility of Goofy.
Goofy is Mr. Versatility.
Timestamp. I'll give you a timestamp, Jeff. It is 8:58, 59, 9 minutes, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in that
Thank
vicinity.
you for the timestamp.
What was I just going to say about? The door. So hold on, let me gather my thoughts so I say the right name of it. What is it called? Keep talking, and I'll come back to my point when I figure out what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to think of the name of whatever.
You're good. You're good. I think all of this is again new to me. Like even just like the amount of door locks that Scrooge goes down is such a comedy trope, I guess. To go, and that I feel like this is the first time I saw something like that. It was here. So whenever I think about using this in something that we're improvising, or I know we've used plenty of similar bits in scenarios up at the Renaissance Festival, and door locks have definitely been one of them. I think of Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Jen,
I remember. Yeah, I remember now. So Mickey's Monster Musical, which is on Disney Junior and came out, some years ago. And it's kind of more of a Disney Channel movie or whatever. But I feel like they took so much of Disney fan things and incorporated them into the movie. Like there's this whole part where they go on a ride and they're kind of like, please keep your arms and hands inside the vehicle, and they do little spoofs like that. And when they get to the door, they have Igor the door and I'm adorable. And I always think of this movie, though. I'm like, that wouldn't have happened without this movie, without the Goofy door knocker, if you will, that introduced it. That was my main point that I just spent 5 minutes trying to figure out.
Jacob Marley now informing Scrooge he'll be haunted by 3 ghosts. And now... the chains as Goofy exits, doesn't trip over the cane, but then falls down the stairs. I'm now speaking before it happens, just so we know. But we are now exiting the Jacob Marley scene at 11 minutes and 6 seconds, 7 seconds.
I think I'm like 4 seconds behind you. Yeah,
that's right. It's okay. And there he goes. As it fades to black, and it's like, where were the commercials in this? It's like, is it going to a commercial?
And that's probably why it felt longer too. They probably stretched this out to an hour with commercials back in the day.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, I think in my brain, I always thought about the 3 cartoons that preceded it as a full half hour, but probably it was only 20 minutes total. And then 40 minutes for Mickey's Christmas Carol with the commercials, so you're getting about 14 minutes worth of commercials.
Yeah,
in the throughout the special here. So you're about to see Jiminy Cricket as the first of the three spirits here, the spirit of
to
Christmas
announce that
past.
Wishes is coming back.
To announce that also he'll be talking at the end of Spectro Magic, everyone, and all the things. I saw a great tweet, Diana, who is on Twitter, and we engage a lot about the party sometimes, that she mentioned that it was a crime that the Jiminy Cricket "I'm no fool, no siree" is not on Disney Plus yet, and I concur.
Yeah, that's a good
point.
That
whole series, because that was, when you're in the mid 80s watching Disney Channel cartoons in the morning and in the afternoon, often the "I'm no fool, no siree, I'm going to live to be 103" was often a feature on Donald Duck Presents or Good Morning Mickey or whatever.
Mouser says. Some years ago, as often happens with our Christmas DVDs, whether in this house or Mama and Papa Dillos, some holiday movies go missing for a bit, and then I really want to watch something. So I had bought Mickey's Christmas Carol on app through iTunes or whatever, and it was $20, and I was like, "Excuse me, $20? What?" But they also include all of those other cartoons, so they include like the Christmas tree with Pluto and the chipmunks, and they include Goofy skiing and all that. I'm like, well, fine, it's worth it then. Now I have it forever.
And then now you just pay $7.99 for all of those every month.
Right,
just that one-time deal.
Yeah.
Now,
and I found the DVD since then, so we'll take your pick. 3 options to watch.
Where are you with your DVDs? I know that you were trying to find a way to condense your DVD library.
Can I give you? I can't give you behind the scenes. It's too messy. Okay. We actually had moved our DVDs recently. We have a lot in a closet, but we moved some that were upstairs, and they're just lining this wall right now. We're like, what are we doing with all this? So we just did that like a couple weeks ago. So they'll sit there forever. And the Wii games as well that are along the wall.
Oh, the Wii games as well. So we're into the Fezziwig scene here, just about at the 14-minute mark, and with Scrooge sitting alone in the corner. So then you got Mr. Toad, and you kind of get, again, you want to know why people freaked out about Mr. Toad's closing. It's not because of The Wind in the Willows, everyone. It is because of Mickey's Christmas Carol.
That's true.
Yes, we love the ride. We all love the ride.
Yeah.
But people have the attachment of when they were not at Disney by seeing him as Fezziwig here every single year. Unless someone's about to tell me that it's not Mr. Toad and my brain is about to explode, then that's something else entirely. But again, it's kind of like the whole menagerie of, you got Chip and Dale in this scene, you got Huey, Dewey, and Louie in this scene. It's again that precursor to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I feel where it's like it's okay to mix and match all these different characters who don't seem to belong in the same feature.
Yeah. Stay tuned, Lewis. Maybe. Just maybe. I also wanted to bring up this. Do you think kids lose a lot not having the commercials these days? I also remember feeling watching these Christmas specials was like an all-afternoon event. Yeah, 26 minutes. Oh, right, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy that it's 26 minutes. And losing, I mean, my kids especially being unplugged, my goodness, if there is a commercial, they're like, can you skip this ad as if it's YouTube? Or can you fast forward? Like, what is this? They have no patience for them nowadays, where it's like, this is just what you did. Just sit down, relax, sit through the commercials, embrace them.
And the 5-year-old was like that for a while too. But now, before she goes to school, I do like Bluey on the Disney Channel rather than anything on Disney Plus as she's eating breakfast. So she sees the commercials. So I feel like instead of her just being used to, lack of patience streaming and like, I hate commercials. Now it's all these product placement things like LOL dolls. I want that.
Yes.
Like, no.
And that's all that happens. Right. And that's what happens because they don't see these things enough now. Everything they say is, oh, I want to get that. I'm like, what? You would never play with that. What are you talking? Whatever it is. They go all in on whatever is being shown. And that annoys me about the Disney Channel, because back in my day, there were no commercials on the Disney Channel with product placement. So I get annoyed by them.
Yeah, you would just get what's on the Disney Channel, from 5:26 p.m. until 5:30 p.m. when the next thing came on. which was usually the only Mickey Mouse Club back in the 90s. 4 minutes of commercials, right? So I had on my and I have them everywhere, right? On VHS, on DVD, everything, on DVR. I have like, when there's Christmas episodes of MASH, I record them. It's just an instinctual thing. So I had been watching the DVR versions for the last couple of years, and I'm like, I know I'm missing like 8 minutes of this episode because of how many commercials there are. So finally, I watched them on Hulu earlier in the week, and I was like, see, I see what I'm missing. I know it by heart, so I know what I'm missing. Yes. But agreed, there was only about 4 minutes of commercials.
There's a little chat about Daisy. This is a good point. Is he dancing with Daisy? Because shouldn't that be his nephew's wife and not Scrooge's love?
I find it very. I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult. I don't know. It's a road I don't want to go down. Here's my beef with, and I always forget the giant's name here from Mickey and the Beanstalk. But here's the character where I'm like, do we need it?
Right.
The giant. It makes sense, but do we need this character playing this part? Could we could have gotten somebody else in here to fill this void?
I know. I don't get it. And could you not have had? Oh, you have him later.
Yeah. We'll talk about him later.
Well,
right. I mean, you could have, but it's not Pete. I got a lot to say about Pete.
All right. We'll hold off.
Who could we? I'll accept in the chat any recommendations unless you are very happy with the giant here as the spirit of Christmas present, or Christmas present, however you want to phrase it.
Yeah.
Then I'm more than willing. But I'm like, what about Baloo? I don't know.
Baloo.
Get the mind here.
Let's see.
Oh, Nate, you're leaving? All right, we'll see you. You got in trouble. You got in trouble for watching a live stream, Nate.
I know. It's like, oops, I gotta go, guys.
I'm not doing anything, I swear.
Yeah. That wasn't a natural goodbye there. What's a problem?
So you got Mickey at home here with Minnie. You got Bob. You got the Cratchit family, at home here with the kids. We're going to see Tiny Tim. And is it so? Here's the other thing, right? Isn't there a niece and a nephew on Mickey's side that are playing these roles technically, but they're portraying the kids?
Is that Millie and Melody from Minnie's Winter Bow Show, perhaps?
No, they have a different name, and I want to call the boy the male. I don't know what to call him, but boy, he's a mouse. Mortimer, but that's not right. I can't think of it. But they used to be in How to Draw characters. They've had.
But you don't think it's Millie and Melody? Do you know them?
No, I don't think it's Millie. I know who you mean, but I don't think it's them.
Minnie's Winter Bow Show.
Right, it's like when we talk about Figaro. Then.
Yeah. Right.
Baloo is too bare. I agree. Jeff always likes a giant. It's fine. I don't think there is a better. And it's very.
We've proven ourselves wrong.
Well, Pete is too mean, and I know Lewis isn't catching a whole lot of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, so we're about to get into
that's true.
The ghost of Christmas yet to come here
at 1950. Anyway. Nephews and nieces, we have seen them somewhere recently. Minnie's Winter Bow Show, Dr. Val.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. Without his role here in Mickey's Christmas Carol, I don't think we would see Pete in anything ever again. I don't
too controversial. Why do you think that?
I mean, I think when I say my generation wouldn't have known who Pete was really. I don't think based on his, early roles in Mickey Mouse cartoons, it wouldn't have mattered at that point. So I feel as if because of this, more people knew who he was, that he was able to be a part of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and all those cartoons that I can't keep track of anymore. There's that one that's in between the Roadster Racers and Clubhouse. It's like a merging of the two. I don't know what the show is. Is it Funhouse?
I think it's the Funhouse. That's the newest one. Is the Funhouse, I think.
Right, the Weasels don't get the roles in Roger Rabbit without Christmas Carol here. Right, I mean, I just feel like again, the reintroduction of a lot of these characters don't happen without Mickey's Christmas Carol.
You don't think Pete rolling up Mickey to smoke him made a big enough impact on your childhood to continue him throughout other movies and keep him around? I don't understand.
I just think he is held in enough high regard here in this cartoon that he was able to take on larger roles in the current cartoons, and also in a way that did not make him as mean.
Right. True. So because nowadays in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, he's just a goof. He's, when he's doing something mean, he just I'm being a little sneaky. Oh, I'm sorry for doing that. Like he's
sorry, Mickey the Mouse.
Yeah, he's not tying Mickey to any train tracks anymore. He's not doing all that. It is. This is Jeffers is having the same experience. Jeffers, I think what you said, you had been delayed in the beginning. It's basically everything I was saying, that back in the day, this movie in my memory is so long. This took a whole night, and now it's like, wait, we're done? It's wrapping up? What's happening already?
Yeah, and it's like, he's waking up on Christmas morning. We're a little over the 22-minute mark now, 22 and 20 and change or so. So he's got the coat rack on his back. He's running out of the house. What day is it? Do you have other favorite Christmas carols, or is this it for you, basically?
Saved by the Bell. This is number one. I mean, I appreciate Muppet Christmas Carol. It just never held like it does for some others, which I can appreciate. But so I can appreciate the movie, but it was never that. This is my number one. So yeah, I mean, I can appreciate others, but
yeah, Jen is just outside the window of appreciating Muppets Christmas Carol. I feel like people born 85 and is like, that's like the wheelhouse for people who love Muppets Christmas Carol. I could never get past the voice of Kermit in that ever. Right. I've since adjusted, but I never could go back. Even when we watched it for the Fedora Club last year, I was like, okay, I know why people like this movie a whole lot more now, but I cannot get past Kermit. I can't do it.
No one else in the chat is backing up my Saved by the Bell. No one else appreciates that episode.
I haven't seen the Jim. Yeah, I haven't seen that Jim Carrey one, which is I think the Zemeckis version where it's kind of animated.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
No, we have love and appreciation, but we're not like diehards. If I don't see it in a season, I'm all right. I'm all right with it.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I appreciated it more last year when we watched it for the Forever 44 Fedora Club, but I could not get. Jim Henson's death hit me a lot more than I care to let on for most of the 90s, I believe. So now Scrooge out of the toy store on his way to the Cratchits here as we're about to wrap up the whole thing. 24, 15, 16, 17. I reiterate here, I think it is underrated how this cartoon held things together for Disney, because this is 83, you're still 6 years away from The Little Mermaid, and the whole Renaissance. So, you want to talk about Roger Rabbit, you want to talk about Oliver and people who are into Oliver and Company, sure, but I feel like the classic characters were allowed to thrive a little bit through the 80s because of this cartoon.
This makes sense, Dr. Val. It's your nostalgia with your daughter, so that makes sense.
I did not even go see Muppets Christmas Carol in the movie theater. I saw a movie every week from basically 1990 to 1994 at the very least. I did not go see Muppets Christmas Carol, which is like crazy. Yeah. I saw Muppet Vision 700,000 times in the same time period.
Yeah.
But did not go see Muppets Christmas Carol in the movie theater. It's just a personal thing.
Yeah. Our friend Lexi loves Muppet Christmas Carol, talks about it on today's episode of Theme Park Thursday for the 12 days of Dillo's social media Ohana. Oh, the end, everybody.
That's the end. It's over. Oh, what a merry Christmas day. I mean, it did move at lightning speed. I wasn't actually expecting it to go that fast as we were talking.
It's crazy how quick it is. Yeah.
But
and now the credits in all the languages.
All the languages. Yes. It's always like the 5-year-old gets so like,
I know.
She just watched Back to the Future for the second time today.
Oh,
She's all in on Back to the Future because we have that advent calendar. I don't know if everyone knows. I'll share it here before we wrap up. Is that Jen and I had bought a gift for someone in our family for their birthday a few months back. And as the time was approaching, I was like, oh, we don't have an advent calendar this year. We had been gifted with ones in previous years, both Natalie and I. Mine was always a Star Wars Lego one as a joke. And so we didn't have one by Thanksgiving. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get the Back to the Future advent calendar for myself. Because I was like, no, I want this. Happy New York City, everyone.
Oh, there it is. Sounds New York City. So 26 minutes of cartoon, 34 minutes of commercials, right?
How's that doing out there?
Oh, people are angry over there in Queens.
Let me tell you something. It was SantaCon here in New York City over the weekend, and Mrs. Dillo and I forgot about that, and we had planned to like do something like Christmassy that was going on in the city yesterday. Yeah. And what were we thinking? Yeah. So we had to like pivot real quick because we weren't going to go do the thing we went to do. We got there and we're like, nope. And so we pivoted and had a nice Italian Christmas dinner in Little Italy. Nice. A dinner, as it were. It was a dinner. Yeah, that works. So because I had to go after that. But at a Little Italy restaurant I've never ate at before. But if you like Google The Sopranos and Eli Manning, they recently went to a restaurant. And because Eli Manning was like learning how to eat spaghetti or something. It was like something for Eli Manning's podcast, I think. All right. So just as a sidebar, same restaurant, just so everyone knows. And that tangent should start to slowly bring things to a close here. But go ahead, Jen.
Oh, I was just going to say, if we continue to do some of these live watches for any more of our Vlogmases, things to consider would be the Saved by the Bell episode with the Christmas Carol, or perhaps our favorite 90210 Christmas episode.
Oh my God.
Has everyone seen that? I mean, come on.
We have to go through the 90210 one. I think we have to do that. I don't know about Saved by the Bell, but the 90210 one, I think we have to do. Everyone will be like, what? I didn't watch it then, and I'm not going to watch it now.
To say. Everyone can watch it on Hulu. It's perfect.
So just as I'm going to like shatter everyone's like glass, whatever, the How I Met Your Mother references,
break the glass.
If you watch that 90210 Christmas episode, which is from season 3, anytime on the podcast where I go, hey, and I'm not saying it like Steve Sanders, but I say it like Steve Sanders. Like it's not meant to actually say it like him, but I end up saying, Jen is always like, okay, Steve Sanders. Like if there was the amount of times I've cut out, okay, Steve Sanders out of the podcast that we've recorded. Like, hey, hey, you're going the wrong way. Going the wrong way.
Hey, stop.
All right, we give you 2 tangents here.
Yeah, I just got to stop now.
So, thanks so much for listening here. I actually think, now that I'm thinking ahead, I believe that this Vlogmas episode will end up being like the December 23rd edition of Theme Park Thursday. I don't know if we're going to sneak one in prior to after the 12 days.
That could work.
We're still seeking. I don't know.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah. So we're still thinking about the last 2 episodes of Theme Park Thursday for the year after doing these 12 days. We kind of have a lot to do between now and Christmas. So maybe this will be an episode.
We'll see.
The podcast, and then you can play it whenever you want here on YouTube or on the audio. Who can say? Well, thanks so much for everyone in the chat. Please like the video on the way out so that other people can stumble upon it and then go, oh, you know what? I'm going to set up my Mickey's Christmas Carol to listen to 2 Long Islanders talk about it for 30 minutes until the 13th day of a very merry Vlogmas. Say that 5 times quick. She's Jen, and I'm Frank. Good night, everybody.
Deuces.
God bless us, everyone.